Hello there, my friends. Unless you've been living in a cave, you know that some serious stuff went down in Washington, D.C. recently, where some very troubled people decided to storm Congress and smash windows and invade during when Congress was in session and essentially run Congress out of the chambers into hiding and take over until they were forced out by Capitol Police. And some people were killed, and our nation's rattled, including me and my family. And a lot of people are trying to figure out, what do we do about this? Our country's divided, people are angry, people are afraid, hearts are broken, people are scared. What the heck can I do? What do we do moving forward? Well, I don't have any easy answers for that. I have my answer. Yes, I don't like the idea of being helpless and powerless. It frightens me. And I like to stay solution focused and try to think about what little old me, well, not too little, got some poundage to lose. But I'm kind of leaning on my social work training in this instance because I understand there are kind of three levels that we can kind of look at, macro, meso, micro. The macro level is society, the country, right? And that's what we're looking at now, our country, our institutions. Then there's the meso, our community, maybe the town we live in. And then there's the micro, you and me, our one-to-one conversation. And it's the everyday stuff where we can make a difference. All this racism, this division, this hatred, this misunderstanding, this fear that we have about difference, these misunderstandings, these happen in our everyday interactions, these biases, these prejudices that are reinforced from our upbringing, our ignorance, the media, the books we read. That's stuff we can do something about. Can we control how our senators and our representatives behave? No, but we can decide whether we make an effort to advocate or support who we want in office instead of passively sitting by and letting other people do it. We can share our voices that way. But if you don't want to, you can absolutely own how you show up for your neighbors and the strangers you interact with on a daily basis. And I urge you not to think of it in terms of, well, I'm one person. One person's not going to make a difference. Well, that's just scarcity, helpless thinking. That's the kind of giving up that keeps the problems as they are that led to this destruction we saw in the Capitol. It's people having that sense of learned helplessness that no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, nothing is going to change. You can't afford to give up, especially if there are people in this world right now that you love that are going to outlive you. You can't let your legacy to them be one of hopelessness and helplessness. You must make an effort to improve this world for their sake, if for no other reason than to model to them how to be a decent human being. Show up with kindness. Put that ripple into the water. When you think about those three levels, micro, meso, and macro, think of it as that ripple in the water. It starts small, the micro, and it spreads outward to the macro. And if you make a big enough impact on that micro level, it goes outward. When you hear people accept their Academy Award or their Nobel Prize or whatever it is, they talk about that teacher that impacted them in fifth grade, or they talk about that college professor that gave that powerful speech in class or had that moment with them. And now you see this person standing on a stage who made this world-changing impact because of something that happened at a micro level. You see how that ripple happens? Because you had a simple interaction with somebody years ago. They took it and went boom. That's how you make world-changing impacts. And you may never live to see it, but so what? You still made the impact. That's how you can change the world. That's how you can make the world better. Focus on those moments where you can show up and just be kind, just be decent. Come from a place of compassion. Come from a place of your humanity, from patience, from love, from understanding, instead of from I'm better than you because I believe this or I voted for that person. Is that really the best we can do for each other? I don't think it is. If we're operating from selfishness and ego and fear and scarcity, yeah, that's the best we can do. But if we realize that we're all in this together, that we need one another in order to be our best, that when one of us falls and falls hard, we get it much easier and heal faster if we have the hand of another one of us instead of trying to do it by ourselves. So please consider how on a micro level, when you interact with another human being, how can you be in such a way where if that person took that moment and that experience with you and carried it forward, how might that better the world? Come from that place, and maybe we'll just see a much bigger change and a better America and a better humanity. Don't you think it's worth a try? I'm sure as hell going to go for it. That's just my thoughts on the matter. There are a lot of opinions on this. And hopefully my 2 cents is worth a little something. But that's just my thinking. Do with it what you will. This has been Brian. Thanks for being you.